Thanks, Anna. Listen to this. Coming to a school near you, a Black Lives Matter textbook. The book, aimed at sixth grade students, covers the shootings that touched off passionate protests, the work of activists to bring about a more just legal system, and tensions in the U.S. society that these events have brought to light. The authors say the conversation needs to happen with young students, but critics say it goes too far. Here to weigh in is radio show host Larry Elder. Nice to see you this morning, Larry. Welcome to the show.
Morning, Clayton. How you doing?
I'm doing well. You say this is all about indoctrination. What do you mean?
Well, I haven't seen this kind of mass lack of critical thinking perhaps since the O.J. Simpson verdict. Have we forgotten that the whole thing that started this so-called Black Lives Matter movement, Ferguson, was built on a lie? Michael Brown did not have his hands up. The forensic evidence and the eyewitnesses, many of whom were black, said that he did not say don't shoot. And it sparked all kinds of protests all around the country. And as a result, police have become more and more passive. And we've seen crime go up in New York, crime go up in Baltimore, crime go up in Philadelphia. If the Black Lives Matter people are really concerned, they ought to say something about the fact that last year, 6,000 blacks shot other blacks. And far and away, the #1 cause of preventable death for young black men is homicide as opposed to car accidents among whites. The whole thing is absolutely absurd.
So, Larry, why aren't they then going into the ghettos, going into the troubled areas of our society and talking about this instead of going and disrupting Bernie Sanders speeches in front of 30,000 people?
That's a good question. I tweeted that. Why are they interrupting speeches by Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders and Martin O'Malley? Why don't they come down to Compton or South Central, where I grew up, and confront the Bloods and the Crips and MS-13? Get in their faces and chant Black Lives Matter. Maybe that'll have some sort of effect. This thing, again, as I said, is just mass hysteria, and it's indoctrinating young kids, teaching them that black people are victims. And by the way, you as white people ought to feel really, really guilty about it. Never mind the election and re-election of a black president. As far as they're concerned, nothing's happened in the last 50 years. Well, this is not your grandfather's America, but that's not what they're teaching young kids.
Well, right, and sixth graders. So they say, the authors of this book, they say they want to create a conversation. So is it appropriate for sixth graders?
Well, the conversation they want to create is that we're victims. They don't want to create the real conversation, which is the #1 problem facing the black community is the implosion of the black family. I didn't say this. Obama said if you grow up without a father, you're 5 times more likely to be poor, 9 times more likely to drop out of school, 20 times more likely to end up in jail. We're not having that conversation. And the reason for the implosion of the black family are left-wing policies that have encouraged women to marry the government and men to abandon their financial and moral responsibility. We're not having that conversation.
Wow. Larry Elder, it's always great having you here on the show. So succinct and articulate at 6:30 in the morning. We love you. Thanks, Larry.
I do my best.
You do more than your best.